Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 1942. We've started a new U-boat mission. All the difficulty settings turned up. I just found what was running before. We'd basically maxed out all the techs and it was a little easy even though we were only halfway through 1941. So with a fresh boat, late 42, our overall mission is to stop the stuff going into the USSR. We'll see how we go. Welcome to Bergen. It is the 1st of September 1942, the month that saw 11 U-boats lost in exchange for sinking 101 Allied ships.
Kapitän, das kann deine neue Crew sein.
Let's take a look at seeing what we've got with our crew then. 5 officers and 18 regulars. That's fine. Nothing else we can do there. Goodbye. Let's have a look with regards to our boat. What have we actually got? Again, all the difficulty settings are high, which includes the economics. And so items. Another gas mask, yes please, because we want to equip all the officers with one of those. And torpedo wise, yes, absolutely. Let's get another one of those on. I realize it's going to take a little time, but such it is. Definitely get a full load of fuel. Okay, deck gun. A bit of ammo did not never hurt nobody. Flak as well. Let's get some armor piercing on. And when it comes to the storage room, what we've got here, large caliber, high explosive. What have we got up there? Yeah, a little more. I'll tell you what, rather than do this, we'll do this when we get back. Food-wise, yeah, we are a little light on food, and our crew is... Let's just get some free potatoes. Okay. Right, exit. I'll bring you back. Alright, the invasion of the Soviet Union has begun. We've got our message, so Operation Barbarossa. The US Congress declares war upon Germany. By it's all coming thick and fast. 2nd of September 42. We're just coming up to midnight. Let's get our orders then from the leading officer. He's always pleased with our previous patrol. Can't he come up with something else? Right, any orders then? Right, the new offensive known as the Black Pit. Allies adapted to some of our tactics, and the Battle of the Atlantic is now much different than it used to be. Cargo ships heading at Britain often travelled in heavily armed convoys. RAF Coastal Command also has much more aircraft at their disposal. They also better equipped. Still, the defence strategy has a major weak spot. We call it the Mid-Atlantic Gap. It is beyond the range of their defences. To overwhelm... We're now using wolf packs. We are going to win this battle, Skipper. Yes, so the month of September 42 saw 454,957 tons of Allied shipping sent down, and a further 15 ships that were damaged. Right. Let's get a start then. Arctic convoys. Okay, new mission. Reach the patrol area. Well, that's straightforward enough. It looks like we've also got some photography guy on board. War correspondent. Our captain once again, Klaus, but we are not the U-48 or the U-96. It was the U-5 something or other, I believe. In any case, let's go ahead and get a start. So it'll be quite interesting to play this again, basically from scratch. Come on, man, let's go. And so, yeah, operating. Let's have a little look at the map before we compress things away. Let's just check we're not going to crash. And so, map view zooming out. There's where we were previous, but of course starting a new game, yes. So operating here out Norway. By this map seems awfully stretched wide. I've just probably just only just realised that. Someone said, yeah, didn't you realise? No, but I do now. It's very stretched in the width direction. Yes, so we're operating out of these fjords here. Up in Norway as we make our way out, and then after we've gone out there, we need to get up into our patrol sector, which is way north. These are the German, as far as I'm aware, they are a direct copy of what they really were, but the Navy really did divide these squares up, and the Air Force did as well. I'm not sure if the squares were the same with the Air Force and the Navy. It would make sense that they were, but I've not seen any other military make use of the squares in the same numbering system like this, and you can see they don't always even align. Anyway, let's make our way up to the north. I'll bring you back once we get out of this area. Let's put a waypoint like that and like that. As you see, we've got 144 plus another 500 and some. So let's call it 650 nautical miles to go. Kilometers, I should say. Too much flying, eh? The war correspondent's got a question for us. Gustav. Sounds awfully Russian, don't it? Chats a little bit with Klaus and mentions that the last meal was really tasty. Out of curiosity asks, where is the food stored on the ship? We've got three choices. It's the officer's room, it's near the toilet, or the information is classified. Well, the answer is, of course, it's near the toilet, because that's what the second toilet aboard the U-boats was used for, as a storage cupboard. And so he's happy with that. Incidentally, it is now the following evening. So we'll switch back over to red light once again. As you see, it's the 3rd of September, just gone 10 in the evening. It's been completely uneventful so far. 24 hours. Taking a quick look on the map. We've gotten out of base there and we've just travelled north. Looks like we've got just under 140 or so kilometers to go. I'll bring you back. Alright, it's just gone 3 in the morning. We've reached our patrol sector. We're going to radio that off to base. And first order of business is a routine dive. You can see, even though it's just gone 3, it's not too far off the sun coming up. One of the different difficulty settings I don't have on hard is the lighting, and that is for the purposes of the stream. So the darker nights option is not enabled. I have the damage control set to realistic, and everything else is on hard, including AI difficulty this time. So we'll see if that makes it impossible or not. But for now, it's time for our first routine dive. Get another assistant on the sonar or the hydrophone. Forever gonna say that wrong. And let's have a little look then, map view. Of course, completely unskilled, unupgraded. So what range do we have, roughly? 100. So if we're under optimal conditions, it would seem just around 118. So nowhere near the 200 or so that we was enjoying before. I think it was 200. It was certainly well north of 160. And so yeah, it doesn't seem like there's anybody there. And so the rest of this mission, as you can see, we need to sink 4,000 tons, is gonna be a repeating process. So travel along, dive down, see if we hear anybody, repeat process. I'll bring you back when we stumble across somebody, because it doesn't seem there's anyone here yet. Well, we've just detected some smoke. A tiny group, 3 to 6 ships on the horizon. So we're going to get another assistance with the captain. We're going to lay in a course. It is the daytime, and by heading directly towards the target, we will be presenting the narrowest of the silhouettes for them to identify us. I think as well. Just get an assistant on there and we'll go flank speed, and assuming we get within range and identify hostiles, we will of course go to alarm mode and wake all the other officers up. And so I will bring you back once we're a little closer, but just there I think we can see the smokestacks if we take a look through the captain's binoculars. There now we can certainly see them, and they're either heading towards us or away from us, so we're going to have to be careful on this one. Well, the alarm's ringing and dinging, and there's at least 4 of them. And these could all be destroyers on patrol. They look like destroyers, and they look like US. And our crew is indeed confirming that they are destroyers, and so we're going to have to reverse too. We certainly don't want to get any closer than that and try and back off, hopefully without being spotted. And we're 17 kilometers away, so with a bit of luck we've managed it. Reversing she does, aye aye. The reason I'm not rushing to radio it off is I'm not sure how effective their radio detection equipment is at this stage of the war. Well, there's one way to find out, right? September 42. Let's radio it off. If they do pinpoint us from 16 kilometers, then that basically renders sending radio messages completely impossible until we're well out the way after an engagement. So far, so good. A little situation update then. We've managed to back out. There are the warships. They were on such a heading. We were coming along like this. Got up to about there, then backed out, then have come sideways. The warships since did swing round and are heading towards the southwest. And so we're coming towards us a little bit. So I was a little bit concerned. But I don't think they picked us up. They certainly didn't pick up speed. So we're just good to get out of dodge and then continue something like this. And then once we get there, assuming we're not molested, we'll go back to a routine dive. Unfortunately, the routine dive doesn't reveal anything other than the destroyers that are continuing on a southwesterly trend. So we'll ignore those. We'll continue pressing north. It is coming up to 4 p.m. on the 4th of September 1942. We've just received an important message. Large cargo group together with a ship that absolutely must be sunk. So let's go ahead, lay in a course. That brings us right through where these destroyers are. Large convoy group. And if they're heading towards the Soviet Union, this could be something. So coming up to 3:45 on the 5th of September. That is AM. Hello, welcome back. It is the 6th of September 1942, midnight, and we're just going to wake our radio guy up, and here's why. If we take a look on the map, we have dived, and we are very close to where we expect the convoy to be. We're going to reduce the engines to slow running, and hopefully our hydrophone guy is going to pick these guys up. They are certainly well within where we expect them to be, and it's quite a large convoy. They reckon 9 to 21 ships, including the Matthew P. Deddy. What name? P. Deddy. Or P. Didi. Either way, we need to sink this ship in particular, and that will hopefully, together with any other ships in the convoy, reach our 4,000-ton quota. We are just over halfway through the 2,000 kilometers of distance we have to patrol, and this will be the first target that we will have seen the entire time that wasn't simply a destroyer, which isn't really a target, doesn't count towards tonnage in the game. Alright, it's beginning. Alarm has been rung. And so we're not going to radio that we've spotted the convoy. We have turned things off. Let's go to blue lighting. Dive planes are already manual. We'll leave the bulkheads open for now. The ocean is far too deep to think about going down on the seabed. And again, this is the first time we're playing with a difficult AI in quite some time. I found it a little supernatural last time I tried it a couple of years ago. There hasn't been an update to the game for about 10 or 11 months. They are working on a big one, but they said that almost 3 months ago now. Still waiting on that. But for now, let's see how we do. We can certainly see a lot of smokestacks. Let's switch to my favorite view. Where are we? That's the one. So if we zoom in a little bit, we see there's like a flower class there. There's a smokestack. There's a large transporter. I call these masts the sprouts, so the multiple sprouts on that one. Possibly 2 ships there side by side, or one big one, difficult to tell. More smokestacks, more smokestacks. There's another one. I think what I'm going to do now is go to silent running, and we'll set our command to electric. They automatically know to go electric when you dive down, but just so there's no confusion at any point. Oh, there's another escorting ship right there. The small, you know, the small destroyer type, you know, the flower class or whatever, for those that don't know, these small ones, you know, specifically built to go after subs, they're far more deadly than the bigger destroyers and the cruisers and whatnot. The cruisers are basically sitting ducks, you know, the battleships, the aircraft carriers. The real danger of these small ships, they're incredibly fast, very maneuverable. They can ping, they can chuck depth charges for days. They're not what we want to run into. And so what I'm going to try and do is continue moving into position. Let's see how far, distance-wise. I'm not sure, again, at what sort of distance they can hear us. But this first ship is 5.5 kilometers. So I'll tell you what, while he's still that distance, let's go to slow speed. And again, the aim of the game here is to try and get ahead of the convoy. Dive down, wait for him to be silent, wait for him to just go over the top of us, certainly the warships, and then raise up from underneath. But I'm guessing at this point they've probably got magnetic anomaly detectors, and so even without pinging all the time, they should be able to find us. The reason they can't just ping the whole time is because if they ping, they can't hear, and when they're pinging, they can only ping in a very narrow direction at once, so they can't just continuously ping and like a radar see everything within a certain range. It don't work like that. They've got to point in a certain direction. To give them the clue as to where to point, they need to hear something first.
7 Uhr.
So we are a little closer now, coming up to 1. I've decided for my captain, it's going to be safer if he lowers his periscope. We see here within about 3 kilometers from this warship. I don't trust going any closer. There just seems to be the warship here. We've got one here, and it looks like we've picked up one on the far side as well. So middle, left flank, right flank. There may or may not be one behind the convoy. I don't know. We've tried to nestle ourselves in between the forward and the warship on the right. I'm going to try and just set up that's not accurate. Let's try it again. About there. That's a little better. Then we've got another one about here. And again, these are just vague guides, but it's just to give me a vague idea of where the warships are trending together with the convoy, and so that's fine. We'll try, once this ship gets past perpendicular, we'll try creep forward just to get a little further away from this warship as well. Okay, so around 10-15 minutes later, that leading warship has indeed gone past us. We are at all stop. We have moved slightly further away from where this warship is, and as we suspected, there is indeed a trailing warship as well. So 4 destroyers escorting the convoy. I think I'm close enough here. We'll wait to bob up. So what I'm going to do is get my guy who's working on the engines. We don't need him for now. I'm going to ask him to work on help improve the depth keeping, because it's really important, even though it's night time, that the top of our sub don't breach the surface, especially with the AI being difficult. I do want to maintain my torpedoes. The problem is I suspect this guy, you know, they can hear the banging and clattering. Maybe it is worth, let's just have a look. How far? 2.7 kilometers. I'll tell you what, we'll try and creep forwards. If I can open that up to above 3, then hopefully we can maintain the torpedoes, because we absolutely need to maintain the torpedoes to have a chance with these. My concern is, and I have just stopped our advance, is if we continue to creep forward, that this ship will run into us. The RV Belgica, it looks like, belonging to Norway, which is interesting because we are, of course, occupying Norway at this stage. The problem with this ship is it's in with a convoy belonging to the Allies, and any ship found within the convoy belonging to the Allies is by default a legit target. So I am going to have to get my guy here to perform maintenance on Torpedo 1. I'm going to give him an assist to make it as quick as possible. Hopefully we don't get detected. So we're going to go for this ship first. We need to ID it. It's certainly not a Fisher. It's the tower. Recognize. Just check we are stood still. We are indeed. So let's measure the speed for a start. Stop. Set. 12 kmh. We'll recenter the periscope to middle of target. Course. Well, angle on bow, you know me. And taking a look at that mast, we're coming right up to the 45 right about now. Set. Distance-wise, let's raise the scope just a tad. Set. Distance 880 meters. Lower the scope down. Right, all the tubes are ready, so tube 1. Do I take 2 or don't I? Do you know what? I'm just going to take 1 shot and hope I do well. I know in real life, and obviously if my life was dependent on this, I would lower the scope at this point, but we want to see.
Sekunden bis Torpedoeinschlag. 30 Sekunden. 20 Sekunden. 10 Sekunden bis Einschlag. Treffer. Feuer an Deck. Schwere Schäden am Rumpf.
Nice shooting. They're gonna know we're here, and I'm gonna say this guy has had it. Let's go silent forwards. Let's lock this guy. This is This is the, I think, the flat-footed one. Empire Explorer. It's this one with the little knobbly bit at the front. Let's recognize. And so, yeah, they certainly know we're here. We've managed to sink 4,000 tons with the very first ship. And so velocity is 12, so we don't need to measure that again. One thing I'm going to do is adjust 10-15 degrees to port. This is the guy that we're going for. No point radioing off. I don't think there's anything to gain by doing so at this moment in time. I'll bring you back when we're a little more... When this guy's a little closer, he's going to continue zigging and zagging. Okay, there we go. This now looks suitable-ish position. He's zagging away. 42 degrees rudder-wise. I'm just going to keep coming to port. 5 degrees will do. He's zagging away currently, but then he's going to zig back into us, so it's not yet the perfect firing solution. That right there might be. Let's have a look at the distance. About there, 1.8. No way. Is he really 1.8? $1.7. That don't seem right to me. He seems far too close to be that far. Let's rudder midships now.
Bestätigt.
I will lower scope. I am going to try go for this guy, but that just seems a little too far. Let's just do a quick swivel, check that our destroyer friends are not heading towards us. That's a big transporter there, possibly armed as well. There's another one. Destroyers so far looking in the wrong direction. We've got this ship that's behind us, or is going to be very shortly. And we've got a destroyer heading directly towards us. So, even though I haven't heard the pings yet, I suspect it's time to go if we want to live. Ah, oh, lifeboat's right in front of us. Right, this guy. Come on, let's go for it. Convoy zagging into us again.
Legen Sie den Kurs an.
2 degrees port. Let's get a new distance measurement. Scope down a little bit. It's got to be close because this is the minimum zoom here. 1.3. And he's now zagging away again. Perfect. All right, let's go for like a 55-degree shot. I'm going to fire tubes 2 and 3.
Rohr 2, fertig. Rohr 3, bewässert.
And he's continuing to zag. I'm going to go for 58 degrees, Lors. Unlocking him. And lower the scope. We've got nothing to gain. This guy heading directly towards us. I think I'm going to tell him to stop reloading the torpedoes because it's absolutely crucial now that we are silent. Oh no. Oh no. Time to go down. Let's go ahead and close bulkheads as well. Down we go. These torpedoes are heading towards the ship. I'm so glad we fired two because it looks like we may only get contact with one of them. Oh, it's going to be close. Oh, that was so close. Look at that. Only just with one of the torpedoes. We were a little ambitious. I think we're going to come to a full stop. I'm not sure if that ping heard us or if it was just pinging and hoping. And again, if we present a shallow, narrow aspect towards the target, makes him harder to pick us up. This is the only guy who's even vaguely a threat. I hate the way the icons disappear when we zoom in, but it is what it is. I'm going to put this guy on damage control now because, you know, it's not so important that he keeps the depth accurate. It's just... the other officer, well, we certainly don't need the radio, so we may as well go on command station. If we've got spare sailors, why not? And so I don't think this guy picked us up. He was just fishing. And the thing is, if he misses us, we've got a juicy target behind us here. The SS Suvik, what looks like. And we can perhaps take a shot out the rear tube. This guy roughly 400-500 meters ahead of us, but he's creeping slow. If he was going any faster... Do you know, we are directly behind him. Let's reverse one. Let's surface... surface. Let's go periscope depth and see... if we can just use the silent reverse to get a better angle of our sub towards the target, which will also help present a narrow aspect towards this warship that's just gone overhead. Thankfully did not pick us up. Other warships, there's actually potentially a fifth one over here, quite a ways away. I'll bring you back when we're on the surface, but this guy here, perhaps he can help with depth keeping. Actually, he can help maintain the torpedoes. Let's give him an assist, because we need to use torpedo 5. I'll bring you back. Okay, we've just reached periscope depth, and Klaus is getting on the scope. Up scope then, Klaus. He's already passed the most ideal firing solution. But you know what? I think we can still get him. He's one of the towers. There he is. Velocity we know is 12. Course, unfortunately, is past the ideal. Let's go right there, 110. Distance, let's get this as quickly as possible. We know he's close because it's taking forever to wind up. 620 meters, tube 5. Middle of target is selected.
Los!
Torpedo is away. Unlock the target, then we've got no more torpedoes available in the back with only one tube there. Hopefully, despite the crazy angle, we'll get him. We've got another ship here. that is coming towards a suitable firing solution. Let's go slow speed forwards and hopefully we can pick this guy up. I'll tell you what, this torpedo here that we fired at this ship behind us looking very good. That looks like it's going to be a middle of target job. Just 4 off the mid, but that was a beautiful shot. The SS Suvik. And I don't reckon that's going to be long for this world. The destroyer there with its searchlight having a good peek. But seeing as the ships are a little further from us than previously. This guy 2 kilometers away. This guy basically 2 kilometers away as well. Hopefully some of our engine sounds will be masked by the rest of the convoy. We've got the other 2 destroyers circling over there and the 5th one weighs over here. So the Matthew P. Deddy. Okay, so that was a sink. This is the Empire Cougar. Sonar once again. So this ship, I guess 1.5 kilometers away. I do find it a bit of a cheat that when you view the map, you can quite easily see how far these ships are away, rather than just, oh, there's a ship vaguely in that direction, but we don't know if it's 3 kilometers or 4. And again, all the difficulty settings turned on. You'd think they would have done something about that, but they haven't. Okay, so let's ID this one. He is the tower. Velocity we know is 12 because the convoy is. Angle on bow. He's zigging and zagging, but right there he's bang on the 90. He's zagging away currently. Let's have a look at the trend. He's then going to zig back towards. I'm just going to turn a few degrees to the right. And he is now zagging or zigging back towards us again. So I'm going to reduce the angle on bow to about 82 degrees. Hopefully that'll do. Distance-wise, it's a beautiful shot on the broadside. 1.7 kilometers, tube 5. I'm going to go for a high-speed shot. 81 kmh. Los. And let's unlock the target, get rid of that. And I'm just thinking, is there anything to gain by staying on the surface at this moment in time? I mean, we need to try and get away from these destroyers. They're positioned very well in that there's no obvious escape. But if I at all can go forwards and something like this, that would be great. And I was hoping this might be our primary target ship over here. It's good because we've ID'd all the others. It must be either this ship here or this ship up here. These are the only 2 that we haven't ID'd.
Der Torpedo ist auf halbem Weg zum Ziel.
Oh no, it's missed. It's missed.
Zu Befehl.
Right, let's lock up again. Let's try this again. I'm going to change his speed to 13. He's now zagging towards us quite some.
20 Sekunden.
Let's get a new distance reading. 1.3. Tube 1. Let's go to 74.
Los!
That's that one away. Hopefully this will have done better. Yeah, we know it missed. That is unfortunate. I'll tell you what, rather than unlocking him, but let's just plan to get out of here. Captain can lower his scope. This torpedo looks like it's running a little better. Still would have liked it to have led a bit more. I mean, it's possible they're going even faster. I don't know, it's not looking bad. It sort of depends really on the zoom, doesn't it? But I still would have liked to have given it a bit more lead. That looks like it might just connect. Well, I suppose with that view... Whoa. I was trying to move the mouse, not speed up the time. Tell you what, though, it was actually slightly forward of the mid, so we've just broke it clean in half. Either way, it was a good sinking. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get our primary target here. At least not... at half one here on the 6th of September 42. There's just too many ships. This one was ID'd, so was this one. The only ship that wasn't, Matthew P. Diddy, is this up here. All the other merchant ships have been ID'd. This must be Matthew. Do you know what? Let's go down and let's see if we can get on out of here. And so we're gonna dive down. We'll put the captain on the command station. That will improve everybody else's ability. But really, it's just Burymeister here who's rearmed the torpedoes. Usually you'd get him to stop, but do you know what? Just while we get out the way, let's get him to stop. We'll just put him on depth keeping, because it does batter and clang the torpedoes, and that is something, especially on hard, that the enemy will be able to pick up. Well, here we are just 10 minutes later, and I think we've been pinged up on sonar. We were able to get south, but this warship just shot across from over here. He basically shot 6 kilometers and then started pinging. And I'm just wondering, has he heard us? I was able to get my ship facing towards him, present the narrow aspect. We are down at 150 meters. We are completely silent. Nobody's doing anything. We're still blue lighting. And I think I'm just going to push it into the red just a little bit. Man, that must have been creepy hearing that.
Schiffsschrauben, direkt über uns, Herr Kaloi.
Pinging again. Gotta get ready on the engines in case he starts chucking. Well, he's gone over us, so let's go silent. He didn't hear us, and again present as narrow aspect as possible, and that will be suitable for retreating as well in the southwesterly direction. It's 1:46 a.m. I'll bring you back with next development. Well, 10 minutes have passed and the convoy continues its trend northeast. The destroyers are still circling around. They thankfully have not found us, so we're in probably the best position we've been in since beginning the raid, at least in regards to disengaging the attack. I think we've managed it. No further pings for the last few minutes, so we're going to continue trending south. West, if we take a little look at the map, that's what it looks like now. Nearest contact to us at this moment in time is 2.2 kilometers away, trending north. These ships over here, more like 5, so not looking bad. The frustrating thing is, it looks like it's an open goal to who the genuine targets are right now. Well, another 10 minutes have passed. And I've elected to go up to periscope depth. We're going to grab some air, see what's what, and assuming all is well, it's still nighttime, 2 a.m. If we can surface, we will. We'll go flank speed, see if we can get ahead and pick off our primary target before returning to base. Alright, here we are. Captain on the scope then. Burymeister will get him to perform his torpedo maintenance. That's absolutely essential. And the ships are indeed disappearing in the distance. Now, I'm not sure what is a, quote, safe distance to surface this day and age. These guys are 5 kilometers away. So I'm thinking if we head out this way and then slowly start curving round like this, well, perhaps it's putting it a little bit too close. Let's give it a bit of a bigger distance. As long as we can see them ways off in the distance and they can't see us. Let's try that. Sehr wohl, aye aye. So let's go slow. Let's get this guy from repairs onto the engine. Let's try surfacing the boat then. We'll go full speed. We will open the bulkheads. We will switch lighting to red. We will turn on the pump. And the diesel compressor. We will turn on the diesels themselves and we'll go flank speed. There's the lifeboats. Well, I've got to say, there's a lot more to it in 1942 than in 41, certainly in this U-boat game. It's just, even with the difficulty settings on in 1941, I just found it far too easy, and it was actually boring me. But this here, there was at least something, and I felt, you know, I couldn't just be greedy and sink the lot, because, I mean, that's what U-boat is, right? It's, you can just sink a ridiculous amount of ships without any sort of comeuppance most of the time, and that's what made it a little, well, just boring. And of course, you saw people just uploading videos where they were taking on entire convoys and sinking them all, and it was just like nothing to it. This, it certainly feels there is a little bit more to it. I'll bring you back. Alright, an hour and a bit has passed and it looks like we've run right into a ship here. We were trying to get ahead. The alarm was broken off. Looks like the weather is turning on us a little bit. This guy's armed. This guy's armed. Periscope depth. Present a thin aspect. We certainly don't want, I say he's armed. He's of the type of the ship that often carries the artillery. And we don't want it. Go on, down you go. Captain, raise your scope. Come on. Right, let's go full speed rather than flank speed. Come on. Here she is. So it's a 3-sprout, 2-sprout setup. And that's it. 3 sprouts and 2 sprouts. Recognize. Velocity 12, we know that from before. Is no longer zigging and zagging. They think they're safe. They're just, this guy's just through the 90, but not by far. Let's go for 96. Distance-wise, we are closing the gap, but regardless, a moving shot is always good. 3.7. Let's raise the scope and try that again. At 3.6, I'm happy with that. Tubes 1 and 2. Dispersion, let's go for 58.
Rohr 1 bewässert. Rohr 2 fertig.
We'll go for one more distance measurement, seeing as we are closing the gap, and then we'll fire. Set 3.5 los.
Los!
Now, it's possible this is the guy that was carrying the military equipment. Let's do away with this. Let's get our command officer on the radio, Koch, and we'll get him to radio these messages off. There's nothing to gain now by closing in. Look at this, 10,950 points. Let's radio them off. The enemy has detected them, which is fine. We're just going to reverse now. Let's go reverse 2. We've fired the torpedoes. Do they start zagging just because they've detected our radio? Well, either way, I'll bring you back. Well, I don't hold out much hope. We're about a minute or so, almost 2 later. The torpedoes were going quite far forward. Quick look on the map. There you see them. That there, unfortunately, have missed. You see, you zoom out and that looks like it's going to hit, but do you know what? Let's zoom out and hopefully we can screw up the game. That would be really good. But I don't think, yeah, and they're just the basic ones as well. They're not going to double back, unfortunately. Let's go flank speed. Do we have any... Was there anything left? We've got 1 tube left. 1 torpedo, I beg your pardon. Right. I reckon we might be able to do this. These destroyers are still quite far out of position. They're like 5 kilometers away.
Der Aal ging daneben, Herr Kaloy.
I'll bring you back. Okay, 20 minutes later, the situation looks like this. This guy is currently within 3 kilometers. We'll try and close like this. There is the lock. And he appears to be zigging and zagging still. So I am going to knock off 1 kilometer off his speed for the zigging and zagging. We've raised the scope as far as we can. Angle, that's probably pretty accurate right about there. Distance-wise, set 2.7. That sounds pretty good. Want to make absolutely sure the torpedo's as ready as it can be. So we'll give our engineer one final check. We are at flank speed, trying to close. And then we'll make our escape, because we will be Winchester at that point. Come on, we nearly ready? I'll bring you back. He's about 1/3 of the way through. Okay, he's done. So, updated target information, then raise the scope as far as it'll go. Distance, I think it's to about there. 2.1. Let's adjust the zoom. Take that again. There's the highest mast. Yeah, right about there. 1.9 it reckons. Velocity 11. And he's currently zagging away from us. He's still right about the 90. Let's go 93. I'll tell you what, we'll wait for him to zag back towards us. He's slightly to the starboard of our bow, which is exactly where we want him to be. 15 degrees the other side would be less than ideal. And all that I'm waiting for is him to zag back towards. Let's get another distance measurement while we wait. 1.6 potentially. There's every chance he could pick up a periscope feather and fire at us. Yeah, as soon as this zag comes towards, that's when we're going. Let's take another distance measurement. We are flanking towards, and the enemy destroyers are quite a way away. 1.5 kilometers. And it's currently, yeah, it probably is something like that at the minute. Sea very calm. That is on our side, although it is snowing. He's continuing to zag away. Oh, he may have stopped. Oh no, he's still zagging away. I gotta put 1 degree port rudder on. 2 degrees.
Aye, aye, Herr Kaloy.
3 degrees. Come on, zig back into us. He's still zagging away. What is this? Can he see us or something? And is he just trying to get away from us? Updated range information. He's 1.1 kilometers. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the shot. I'm going to take the shot. Oh, did I just cancel the whole thing? No. Let's change the range to 1,000 meters. There's the shot. And we're now going to get away. This is the Matthew P. Deddy, by the way. So if this torpedo can sink this guy, which is unusual that one torpedo would sink a 3 and a 2 sprouter. But if it did, it would be great. I'll bring you back.
20 Sekunden.
All right, we're back here. It's just like 20, 30 seconds later, and I'm quietly confident that the torpedo was on course. I'm not so confident it's going to sink it in one. There is detonation. Oh my goodness, have we broke it off? Oh, it was just the smoke. I thought, man, if we've broken it off. You see, I'm just thinking, if we don't sink this, we're going to get a black mark. Do we just raise the sub and go for it? Do you know what? Let's go for it. This direction, flank speed, surface the boat. And we're going to take some pot shots at him. Using our deck gun, and hopefully we can live to tell the tale. Captain's gotten an upgrade command point ability, and I'm just thinking, do you know what he could get? If he could get a gunner skill, there we go, just in the nick of time. Guess who's going to be on the gun? Deck gun. And indeed, firing as we expect. Incoming. I'll tell you what. We'll do it manual. That was a little bit too high. Good shot. That's a good one. A little bit low. Right, let's get the rudder right about 7 degrees. So we don't get too far away. Fire in line with the waves. That was a good shot. Yes, we got it, we got it. Right. This way, get away from these destroyers. Flank speed. Captain, come at just command station. The other command officer on the lookout. Mayday, whatever, you get on the radio and you can message off that we've been successful. Hopefully, with this setup, we'll be able to get away. I realize the crew's stressed. There's the message, 8,400 points with regards to the Reich for that. So if we get away, it is 3:43 a.m. on the 6th of September, a few hours after the attack began. And again, the ship was firing at us, and there's every chance that one of those rounds could have connected with us. And had they have done so, depending on the damage, it may have been curtains. But I think we may be getting away here. I'll bring you back if there's any development. Two and a half hours later, and it appears we have managed to get away with it. We've got some very strange weather anomaly there in the distance. I can't tell if that's the sun or the moon, but whatever it is, we are making our way a ways from what's left of the convoy. We'll go for another half hour, then we'll head south, make our way back to Bergen. As we continue our patrol south here, you can see where all the action took place. We'll get rid of this marking here, no longer applies. Although we are Winchester, it would make sense, seeing as we're about 3/4 of a way through our patrol, to try and get another 500 kilometers in this box. You see, it's going to be about 200 just to get out of it. So if we can just extend the patrol, something like this, that would be of benefit with regards to getting our distance. And in fact, we could probably try and be a little more, something like that, just to be a little closer to base. So yeah, we'll see how we go. It is the 6th of September, 9:18 a.m. It all happened in the very early hours of this morning. And the patrol there has been complete. We're right on the edge of the boundary there, and so let's lay in a course at RTB. It looks like we've got 700 kilometers exactly to get there. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, on the 7th of September, 1942, here we are pulling up back into Bergen, into base. It's been a very successful mission, a lot of fun to do. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Let's see what goodies we managed to get. Let's go ahead and click return to port just to save the last few moments. It says 1 day later, but it's not really. 8th of September 42, Port of Bergen. Oh, they've got some music out for us and saluting. Nice welcome party. Gun's still cockeyed from when we got the kill. Nobody bothered to straighten it out. Captain standards are slipping somewhat. Alright, and so on the first mission, the captain himself got the Iron Cross second class and first class. Okay, so we managed to get 1, 2, 3, and the 5 ships in total with this many tons. So 28,765 tons. We were at sea for 5 days, 11 hours, and in that time we travelled 3,465 kilometres, which includes the following objectives. The primary target, the war correspondent got everything he needed. We reached the patrol sector with the distance within there, and we sunk at least 4,000 tons. And so, yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, guys, and until next time, I look forward to an update on this game. It just feels it's a little bit samey until we do get the updates, I have to say. All right, take care. Bye-bye.